Jai Hind, Jai Shri Ram, Hare Krishna, Har Har Mahadev, Jai Shri Kalki, Jai Mata Di. Level 5 now, 5th avatar Vamana. And once again we have two characters, Byomkesh from Detective Byomkesh Bakshi and the senior or the father Anirudh Anni from Chichhore. Vamana avatar appeared as a dwarf who took giant steps to measure the world. Byomkesh uses his intellect to measure the truth, while Father Anni uses his perspective to measure a life's legacy. This level is about growth through observation. It is a transition from being a student to being a teacher. Someone who steps back to see the larger map of human behavior and consequence. Byomkesh and Father Anni represent the expansion of the mind and perspective. Byomkesh may seem like just one man, but his intellect steps across the whole city to uncover the hidden truths. While the father in Anirudh from Chichhore also takes a giant step in his perspective, moving from the small, narrow goal of winning a trophy to the much larger understanding of what it means to truly live and be a parent. This level is about growing beyond your physical size and learning to see the big picture of life. Vamana Avatar appears as a humble dwarf who asks for 3 pieces of land, only to expand his consciousness and stride across the 3 worlds, earth, sky and the universe. Byomkesh is the perfect embodiment of this dwarf who becomes a giant. He doesn't win through muscle, he wins through the expansion of mind. He calls himself a Satyanveshi, a truth seeker. He dresses in a simple dhoti, carries no weapons, and often enters a room unnoticed. Like the dwarf, his physical footprint is small, but his presence is the seed of a much larger truth. Vamana's 3 steps measure the entire existence. While in a mystery, Byomkesh takes steps that seem small, but eventually cover the entire territory of the crime. He observes the physical evidence, he understands the psychological motive, and he also places his foot on the ego of the criminal to reveal the ultimate truth. So, with these 3 steps, Byomkesh's investigation is a process of measuring the reality of a situation until there is nowhere left for the killer to hide. The core of the Vamana story is growth. The moment Vamana begins to walk, he ceases to be a dwarf and becomes a cosmic force, and hence he is called as a Trivikram. In the climax of the case, Byomkesh expands. His intellect grows to encompass the entire history of the characters involved. He sees the big picture while everyone else is focused on the small details. He proves that the mind is the only tool capable of conquering the kingdom of a complex lie. While Byomkesh represents the intellectual expansion of the Vamana archetype, Anirudh from Chichhore represents its philosophical and temporal expansion. Vamana proves that true stature is not measured by physical height, but by the 3 worlds one can encompass. Anni's journey mirrors this through the 3 stages of a loser's evolution. Just as Vamana enters the court of King Bali as a humble young student and is underestimated because of his size, right? While in the flashback sequences, Anni enters Chichhore as a fresher. To everyone there, he and his friends are dwarfs. That means insignificant losers who don't belong in the big league of the GC, the General Championship. Anni also takes different steps to evolve through the psychology of the king, organizing the losers to compete in the physical sports, using mental tactics to outsmart the stronger opponents. He expands the definition of winning from the scoreboard to the spirit, placing his foot on the ego of the result. By the end, he proves that the effort is the universe and the result is just a small piece of land. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anni also mentioned in the board Tikadam number 1, 2, 3. So as the giant form of Vamana appears when he transcends his physical limits, the father in Anirudh has to expand his past life to save his son. He brings his small college memories into the sterile giant world of a hospital ICU. He strides across time, connecting his youth to his fatherhood, to prove that a loser who tries is greater than a winner who never struggled. Living your dream is the walk between what should be done and what could be done, using maybe as your signpost. We are all dwarfs in the eyes of the infinite, until we realize that the infinite is actually looking through our eyes. Once you observe the truth, you have already measured the universe.